Hello everybody, it's Crucified JD here, and I appreciate you watching this video today. This is my first ever video on YouTube, and this is a transition from what I've previously been doing. I stream Pokemon Go, Great League, Ultra League, Master League, all GBL battles on Twitch TV under the same username at Crucified JD. And for my first video today on this channel, I would like to review one of my previous Silph Arena Tournament wins. This was my first ever tournament that I participated in back in November of 2019. As you can see, it is a Ferocious Cup, so it is kind of a blast from the past and something neat that you can watch that's not currently the normal meta. So this is a good chance to look back and see what Pokemon were used for this cup. This cup was quite expensive when you had Pokemon like Suicune running around, and it's neat to see some Pokemon such as Umbreon and Alolan Raichu be used in this cup in such a unique way, and Umbreon in particular being such a monster in GBL today. So what I would like to do to begin is I would like to start by looking at the team that I used. I used a team of Suicune that was ranked 399. It was running Snarl, Bubble Beam, and Hydro Pump. The Umbreon was ranked 591. That was the only one that I could get my hands on before this tournament that had Last Resort. But it did have Last Resort, Snarl, and Foul Play. The Bibarel was ranked 20, and it had Water Gun, Hyper Fang, and Surf. The Skuntank was a rank 132 and had Poison Jab, Sludge Bomb, and Crunch. The last two Pokemon I ran was Sandslash, the Alolan version, with Powder Snow, Ice Punch, and Gyro Ball, opting to go with Gyro Ball over the traditional Bulldoze at the time that was used to counter Nidoqueen and the Poison-type Pokemon. I wanted to have extra coverage against the Fairy-type Pokemon, which my team lacked. And then my final Pokemon was an Alolan Ninetales that was a rank 103, and it had Charm, Psyshock, and Ice Beam. And let's jump right into battle number 1 of round 1. My opponent is DLong69. It's a funny name. He's a good friend of mine. So we catch the Skuntank into Umbreon. We're going to be doing neutral damage with the Poison Jabs and just to chip down. So we're going to throw the Crunch just to chip away. He eats that, and we're trying to switch into a Alolan Ninetales to catch the Last Resort, but we eat the first Last Resort. We keep on Poison Jabbing down. We're going to try to Crunch, but end up having to switch to a Alolan Ninetales to try to catch the Last Resort. We do eat the Last Resort, no problem, and we're going to almost farm the Umbreon down before he switches out into his own Alolan Ninetales. We're going to try to go for the Ice Beam here, because Ice Beam will do more damage in the mirror match. And he goes unshielded, leaving us to simultaneously knock each other out, both with 2 shields. He lost the switch advantage. We're going to wait for him to switch in his Pokemon. He goes Lanoon. I go Alolan Sandslash. We're going to go for Ice Punch and try to chip down. Bait the shields, hopefully bluff the Bulldoze. And when we did, we got the shield, and then we're going to go ahead and shield right here. That way we can keep on ice punching down just for chip damage on the Lanoon. Lanoon was quite bulky in this cup, but was also an expensive investment as it maxes under level 40. We're going to shield the second Grass Knot. And keep on farming, or keep on throwing the Ice Punch just to chip damage. When we switch into Skuntank, try to catch this Grass Knot, and we do. Hopefully we throw the Crunch. We potentially could have Poison Jab down. And then we come back in with the Umbreon. He gets a Foul Play before we get to our second Crunch, unfortunately. And then that Last Resort is actually a lot of energy expend, so that KOs, and then we get to an Ice Punch, and that should be able to KO this Umbreon. Let's jump right into round 2. Round 1, battle 2. I don't believe we switch anything up. I believe we still lead with Skuntank and then have the Alolan Ninetales and the Alolan Sandslash. We come in, we catch the Skuntank into the Suicune, which is not a favorable matchup for us. You can flip this matchup, however, with just going straight Crunches, as long as you don't get hit by the Hydro Pump. We're going to go for a Crunch before we get debuffed. Then he comes in. Is this the Bubble Beam or is this the Hydro Pump? Hydro Pump right out the gate, which immediately crushes us. We switch into Alolan Ninetales to attempt to try to farm this down. He switches into his own Alolan Ninetales, trying to catch the charge move, but ends up being Umbreon, and we get the invisible Pokemon glitch. The only reason that we knew it was Umbreon was due to the top right screen saying that it was actually, in fact, Umbreon. And we do farm this Umbreon all the way down. We talked about this in the moment, and we decided that it didn't really affect the outcome of the match, so we decided not to replay it. We're going to go for the Psyshock, bait both of the shields on the Alolan Ninetales since we had so much energy from farming the Umbreon down, and then eventually try to go for the Ice Beam. We switch out, we attempt to go for the Sludge Bomb, but Charm KOs us. We're going to come back in with the Alolan Ninetales, which is dangerous because we gave him a little bit more energy. We're going to come back in with the Alolan Sandslash, but we still have one shield to spare. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw the Gyro Ball. Ice Punch potentially would have KO'd at this range, but we wanted to ensure it with the Gyro Ball, doing super effective damage and taking him out. Now let's move into round one's third battle. We've already secured the 2-0. So we're going to go in and probably with the same team that seemed to have worked in the past two battles. Even though we did catch the Suicune in the lead, we might change up to Alolan Ninetales in the lead, and it looks like we do. Hopefully, that way we don't get countered by the Suicune and Skuntank matchup. So we already have the 2-0, so we guaranteed to have the win for the round. And we go in with Ninetales versus Lanoon. 1, 2, 2 charms off, and then he switches to Lairon. Lairon would have absolutely destroyed my team. That's one reason why I ran Suicune. The Rock Slide just doing a ton to all of my Ice and Steel and Fairy type Pokemon with the fast move, the Steel fast move. We go in, we bait for the Bulldoze, and we do get the shield, but he also throws a move right here, Body Slam, and then baits us for a shield. We go for the second Ice Punch, hopefully trying to bait another Bulldoze, but he doesn't fall for it and only does like 10% damage. He ends up farming us down when we're almost to another Ice Punch. Come in with Skuntank, and we have to shield this up because Rock Slide would be doing a pretty good amount of damage. And then he switches out to Suicune. We go ahead and throw the Crunch, potentially trying to build up to back-to-back crunches before we get Bubble Beam debuffed. And then we make it to the second Crunch before we get the Bubble Beam, which is fantastic. He throws the charge move. Is it going to be Hydro Pump or Bubble Beam? The first one is Bubble Beam. Will he have enough to get to another one? Yep, he throws it. This should be Hydro Pump and enough to KO. We can switch into Alolan Ninetales. We farm down the Suicune. However, he has the Lairon in the back, which we can only do chip damage with Psyshock because Ice Beam would be resisted. And then he has a full health Lanoon in the back to take out our Alolan Ninetales, unfortunately. Yeah, so we finish out the round going 2. Then our next one is going to be against Joe Fuff, who's running an almost identical team. He's running the Umbreon, Barrel, Skuntank, Alolan Sandslash, and Alolan Ninetales line with a Lairon versus us running with a Suicune. So our one difference, my Suicune would beat the Lairon in the matchup, so that is one pivotal difference between our team. But we still both have the 3 meta line of the Umbreon, the Skuntank, and the Alolan Ninetales. So getting into battle number 1, we're going to lead off with Suicune versus Bibarel, which is a positive matchup. We're going to throw a couple Bubble Beams and then try to Hydro Pump. Go for the first Bubble Beam, and you want to get these in before they throw their charge move. That way you're taking less damage if you're opting not to shield. Going for the second Bubble Beam already before he's throwing a charge move. Suicune with Snarl is just such amazing. Going for the third Bubble Beam. We're really trying to debuff this Bibarel. And then we charge up, and then we should have overfarmed just a little bit due to the fact that he threw his energy right now. But we go ahead and throw the Hydro Pump, which should KO from this range unless he shields. Successfully KO in the Bibarel. Now he comes back in with Lairon. We're going to try to hit a couple Bubble Beams before we go down. Looks to me like he shielded that, but the shield animation didn't pop up. Sorry, that's my cat. And then we go back in for another Bubble Beam before he eventually tries to KO us. Will Lairon be able to KO us with fast moves alone? We're going to attempt to go for the Hydro Pump. We're going to shield this up since we're so close because we don't think that the fast moves can take us down from this point. And we end up going for the Hydro Pump. If left unshielded, will take him out. Absolutely devastating, crushing him with the Hydro Pump. And then the Alolan Ninetales comes in with the Charms to take us out. And then we're going to throw a Crunch to potentially bait his shield. Did not take the shield bait. And then he's going to KO us before we get to another Crunch or another Sludge Bomb. And then we're coming back in with a barrel to farm down. We didn't even have to shield there, but that was alright. We go ahead and farm down with Water Gun, and the opponent dies with 1 shield remaining. So this is a successful first game of round number 2. Attempting to switch my team, I think I'm going to keep it with the same lineup due to the fact that the Water Gunners beat the Poison and it beats Lairon. Which makes me a little worried to bring in Alolan Ninetales, but I believe this round I actually go for the more meta line for this cup, which is the Umbreon, Alolan Ninetales, and Skuntank line. So we lead Umbreon into Umbreon, so we're going to go straight Foul Play. I believe I talked to my opponent after the match, and he told me he did not, in fact, have Last Resort on his Umbreon. Which would have been insane if we knew that beforehand. But that's good for keeping that information secret. We tried to switch out, but we got delayed by 2 Charms. He's going to go for the Side Shock, which would have been super effective. We're going to try to go straight for the Sludge Bomb and attempt to KO this Alolan Ninetales. He takes the shield. We're going to attempt to get to another Crunch, but I believe we're going to get farmed down by Charm before we're able to reach a charge move. We're going to come back in with our own Alolan Ninetales and attempt to farm his down. Then he comes in with Skuntank, of which we switch to Umbreon. Whoa, and then the opponent doubles out to take the Last Resort with their own Umbreon. Then this will be a slow, grindy match, but I believe Last Resort is the correct play to do. I believe we end up going for 2 foul plays in the end. We go for like 1 foul play, then Last Resort, and then foul play, versus going for like Last Resort, foul play, foul play. So it ends up being a little close in the end. Just keep on eating the damage. He's going to come in with another one. We're going to shield this one up. It's still going to be a foul play. We're going to opt to throw our own Last Resort, attempting to KO from this range. Does not. Our opponent's going to try to throw another attack, which should not KO us from this range. I know, as crazy as that sounds. We live with 1 little bit of health, and we still are able to launch off another foul play. KOing his Umbreon, he brings back in the Skuntank with 1 Poison Jab to knock out the Umbreon, and then unfortunately launches a Sludge Bomb into our Alolan Ninetales, KOing it. Into the 3rd battle of the 2nd round, we go Suicune into Umbreon. So we're going to stay here and we're going to try to fire off a couple Bubble Beams before attempting to go to the Hydro Pump for the KO. Hello. That's my cat again. She's wanting to say hello to everyone too. So the foul plays are going to still be doing quite a bit of damage even after Bubble Beam debuffs. So he's going to go for another foul play, and then we're probably going to go for at least 2 Bubble Beams, and then probably save up and go for the Hydro Pump. Looks like now we're tapping vigorously on the Hydro Pump spot. We're going to take another foul play. And then we should be able to get 2 Snarls in and then go for the Hydro Pump. Yep. So we go for the Hydro Pump. Hopefully this goes unshielded. It does. And then we switch out, hopefully, to Alolan Ninetales. We were trying to, so we're going to have to use our shield right here for inefficient use. And then tried to switch out to Alolan Ninetales twice again. And then, unfortunately, we have to waste our 2nd shield due to the fact that we want to keep our Suicune alive. So we go for the Hydro Pump again just because we cannot even switch. So we had to KO the Umbreon. So now we're down 2 shields. And then we go into the Ninetales versus the Bibarel matchup. Charm's going to be hitting like a truck, but the Surf's going to be chunking away. And unfortunately, we have no shields for the rest of the time. So hopefully we can bait 1 shield if hits right here. Yes, and then Charm down with 1. But unfortunately, we're going to be hit with another charge move. The Surf will KO. And then we're going to go in with Skuntank. Lastly, paired up against his Alolan Ninetales, we got a great matchup. Charged up for the Sludge Bomb, and then the crunch trying to bait the shield, and then we have just enough energy to get to the Sludge Bomb to successfully KO this Alolan Ninetales, and then finish out round number 2 with a 2-1. Unfortunately, that is all the battle footage that I have so far for this tournament. I kind of got on a win streak and got a little bit excited and then forgot to record the rest of the matches, as this was my first tournament, so it was exciting to get out and meet new people and to be able to play Pokemon Go with a new community. Because this is typically people that I do not raid with or had no contact with before PvP, so it's a great way to reach out and meet new people in the community. So my third round was against Swish125, who had Bibarel, Alolan Ninetales, Lanoon, Nidoqueen, Delcatty, and Alolan Raticate. So he's running the Double Charmer strategy, which did very well in this tournament overall. We went ahead, and I know for a fact that he brought in Delcatty quite a bit, so I imagine that we used Skuntank a lot. And then I know we used Bibarel in the matchup, and Bibarel I think was our lead, which nearly swept the whole team. That was the only memorable thing that I could remember from that matchup, and I'm pretty sure we won either 2-1 or 3-0, but I know the first 2 games we definitely won. And as for the 4th game, we played against Nitsuj9, which is Justin backwards, so a bunch of cool people, super great community, and this was the final match, and he was running Alolan Sandslash, Nidoqueen, Alolan Ninetales, Granbull, Shelgon, or the Beach Volleyball, and Bibarel. So, our team would have probably consisted of Alolan Ninetales, Skuntank, and Alolan Sandslash. I feel like that was a staple lineup for me the entire tournament. I think due to the fact that I had Gyro Ball as coverage move for the fairies. Due to the fact that he is running Granbull and Shelgon, I believe I came in with Alolan Sandslash and Alolan Ninetales, and then I left for Skuntank in the back to deal with some of the other Pokemon like Alolan Ninetales or Bibarel. So I know for a fact that I led Alolan Ninetales and caught the lead at least one time because he led Shelgon the first and third game. And for the second game, I know I finished with a Sludge Bomb on the very last Pokemon with no shields, and it was Alolan Ninetales for the game. And then the very last game of the final round was against, it came down to Alolan Sandslash with like 3/4 of a health versus his Alolan Ninetales, which was at about 50 to 60%. And due to the fact that we ran Gyro Ball versus Bulldoze, we were able to get the super effective damage and end up closing the match. So all in all, I ended up winning the tournament, going 4-0, and it was a great tournament, and it was a good chance to meet the local people in the community and get a chance to play with people that I normally have not even had a chance to meet before. So thank you to the Louisville community, and thank you everyone for watching, and I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch this video, and I hope you'll watch more, and I hope you follow me on Twitch at CrucifiedJD and also Twitter at CrucifiedJD, and I appreciate all of your time for watching this video, and I thanks everybody for watching. And if you like the content and hope to keep more, please comment down below and let me know what you think about it. And I have 3 more tournaments that I could upload, a Timeless, and then Fusion, and then Rose Cup. I'd like to go in that order because I have the most videos for the Rose, but the Rose Cup is a 4-0 sweep, and it is pretty awesome. I loved it. Sabley's the MVP, that's all I'm going to say. But thanks everyone for watching, and I appreciate it. Peace out.